Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I do have another interview coming soon, but while I wait for some more information for that one to arrive, I thought I'll make a video about rendering. So just a typical tutorial video that I used to do, because I got a couple of questions when I did my Dacia 1300 drawing if I could also show the rendering process. And luckily enough, I did a recording of that. So here's a quick video about how to color. So guys, this time around I'm also going to do a little bit off the cuff, so no script, because as I mentioned in the intro, I actually planned to have an interview ready for this week, but I have to wait for some more incoming information on that one that I was missing, that I would like to add into the interview. But I've been asked by several people if I could do a video also on the rendering process of my Dacia 1300 video, which this is. And I've decided, well, not I decided, but I started to slow down the speed at which I put out these videos, because I had a couple of complaints that they might be a little bit too fast. So this is the 4 times speed of the regular drawing process. I think this is around 10 minutes. And I drew the whole thing within an hour or a bit less than that. Well, not drew, but colored. Anyways, as you can see, I'm working in Photoshop. I said several times that Photoshop is my preferred program when it comes to rendering and coloring. And what I do here is I just try to take the color information from a reference image that I had. In the reference image, I had a Dacia and pretty much in the same position. The only problem was that, well, I don't know if it's a problem, but it was a studio environment, I think, that the car was photographed in. So the lighting is quite uniform coming from above. So basically I'm taking that information and trying to apply it here, because the car didn't have this color. This color, as I mentioned in my previous video, or maybe I didn't, but no, I didn't actually. But this color is the color that my father's Dacia 1300 was. So I tried to approximate it as good as I could. And that's also why you will see a little bit of color change and color adjustment through the video, because it was a little bit hard and I didn't quite remember the color. So in the meantime, I had to go out and ask my dad if the color fits. So after some readjusting, I got to the right color. So yeah, my process is pretty much the same as always. I have a base layer on which I do the big rougher outlines of my colors. So in this case, we have the big shape of the car, and there I just try to find all the different volumes. Like you can see, especially in this car, it's easy on the side because one side is pointing up, well, not pointing, but looking towards the sky, and the other one is looking downwards. So it's easy to know that if you have light above the car, the upper part is going to be in the light and the lower part is going to be more in the shade. And I just apply this throughout the whole car. So everything that points towards the sky, I just give it a little bit of brightness. And it's also good, depending what sort of colors you use, to also just switch the colors a little bit here and there to have those rich colors in your drawing. When I'm done with this, usually I move on to separating all the different shapes in the car. So I think this time around I will go with the wheels and the front grille. So those will be on one layer, and then I will lock the layer. And since the layer's pixels are locked after I filled in the areas I need to work on, I can just easily draw over, and I don't have to worry about doing new selections and whatnot. I do the same with, so when I move on, I think I should do the same with the headlights and windows, for example. I will separate all of these onto separate layers within the drawing. I like to jump into details too early from time to time, and I mentioned this in several of my videos. It's just too much fun, and I think most everybody has this problem, or not that they have this problem, but some people are better with controlling themselves and they won't just jump into detailing immediately, because yeah, really that is the most fun. That is the part of painting that is really fun and exciting for me. Also just sculpting the front grille and sculpting the highlights, how they will fall on the badge of the car. I really like that. For the windows, these are actually also one of my favorite things to do, because you can imply translucency of the material quite easily, and you can cut back on the detailing, yet you can still explore interesting ways of how you can suggest that there's some detail there. And there's also some very cheap and easy ways to trick the viewer's eyes to think that there might be some sort of reflection there. And I always like to play with those cheating reflection sort of things. And then yeah, I just usually continue with sculpting all the details that you can see in a car. One of the more interesting things here could be also that the Dacia had quite a couple of chrome looking parts, and chrome is actually quite easy to do incorrectly as well, which I don't think what I did here was particularly correct, but it's one of those cheating methods again. So because chrome is so reflective, you will have quite strong contrast. So you will have white, strong white touching strong dark. It's basically contrasting your environment where there's a change in volume and shape. And because chrome is so narrow, well, not chrome is narrow, but in this case the parts of the car that are made out of chrome are super narrow, it really distorts and brings all the contrast together. So yeah, you can also see me here. I was a little bit struggling because I think first time around I made it too light, and then I darkened all the chrome surfaces in my car. And now looking back, I think I should have brought some of that harsher white back, so you have a really nice contrast. But in the end, it's still, so from far, it gives a good feel to it. All in all, yeah, I would say just really what's important takeaway is to use a reference. It doesn't have to be a perfect reference. You can really, what I did here, you can take a car. I think actually my car was yellow, if I remember correctly, or orange or something like that. But you can take that color information that's there, and not color information, sorry, the light information, and you can apply it to any color, any sort of car you want. You can even use sort of different cars. You don't have to use the same car. You just have to see somewhat similar shapes and where the shapes change direction. And then that kind of can give you information on how you want to color your car as well in this case. And obviously these sort of tips apply not just for cars, but in general when you want to render, especially in the beginning, always have some sort of reference at hand. Well, this is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button and leave me a comment. Also consider subscribing if you like this sort of content and would love to see more. You can also follow me on Instagram for a whole bunch of more sketching related posts. Hope you have a great week and see you folks next time. Bye bye! Look at that. Look. I'm coloring. Do you see that? Do you see that?